Hey, y'all. That's the name of it. Longing for home. I just got through here not too long ago doing a little bit of metal detecting, which I probably will be posting here shortly on as far as the stuff that I found. But anyway, I don't know if you've ever felt like a longing to return to something. You know what I mean? Like in my case, I've been here in the state 17 years. And the first couple of years that I was here, we made return trips to back to like South Carolina, Virginia. We went to visit and stuff, family in those states. And of course, my dad was still living. And I kind of feel though, if I have never left, would I be changed? Would I be different? Would I be loving my authorized version King James Bible as much as I do now? If I'd never left, how would he would have grown up, and stuff like that. If I would have never left, you know, what would it have done to him if I would have never left? But now I look on it, here I am 53 years old, and I'm thinking, golly, I wish I could be home now. I wish I could be back in that state that I love so much. I can't explain it, and I can't explain it to my mother. She's like, what do you got there? There's nothing there for you anymore. I was like, I know there's nothing there for you anymore, but there's, you know, that connection that I feel with I can't explain it. And I long for it every day, I've longed for it ever since I've moved here, but more so here in the past several years than I've ever have. I've been longing to move back to Manning, South Carolina. I don't know why. I just have. I felt like I done my job. I raised my son. He loves the Lord. Godly, fearing young man. He needs me for certain things. But I feel like I'm trapped here in this place. I got a mortgage to pay for a house that I haven't really done anything with other than put a new HVAC system in and new tin roof and got the floors fixed, at least as much as you can call fixed. I don't even know if they're actually really fixed, vinyl siding and stuff like that. So things that make the house look good on the outside are definitely, and the inside too, are definitely there. It could use some more touch up as far as painting and stuff like that. Patched some walls where I kind of, did some little things and stuff here lately. Has been sleeping. Sometimes he'll kick the wall. He's kicked a hole in the wall or something. It's like, oh my gosh, stuff like that. But the context is wanting to go home. My dog don't do that. My dog don't lick my feet. But yeah, I get tired of being here in Etowah, Tennessee, and just want to go home. I mean, even though if I don't have a place to stay, I just kind of feel that desire just to return home. My sister is trying to get my grandma's house all ready to sell and everything, and of course it belongs to my mom now. Um, she inherited it, and so it's hers. So she's going to be supposedly getting something off of it after it sells, so she can settle someplace else. My mom's like, I mentioned something about it, but I really didn't mean it. I'm like, well, what do I mean? Just out of laughing. Well, you got a house. I'm like, yeah, I guess I do, and I don't want it. I never wanted it, and I just felt like I was kind of pushed into it. Not that really, my mom really pushed me into staying here, living here in Tennessee, but I think really what I wanted to do was come and visit for a while and then go home, you know. But we ended up, staying, and a year later, we got the house that I'm at now. And whenever Seth was younger, I did the fun things, fatherly things, stuff like that, you know. And now that he's older, he acts like he don't really freaking need me anymore, and I just kind of, you know, that's just the way kids are sometimes. But here he is, 23 now, and I'm 53. It kind of feels like he don't need me anymore and stuff, and I just want to. I know that's not really true because he does need me because he's got my credit card. Let's just tell. I'll tell you that. But I just feel like I just need to really get out of here. I mean, at least visit home again. I haven't been back to South Carolina for like 11 years, ever since my dad died. And up until that point, I was going quite a bit. Me and my mom or whatever, you know, visiting or whatever, and my son. And it seems like ever since I got our dog, I just made excuses to why I can't go back, even for to Virginia, where I have family over. I have family over there, you know, cousins and stuff. Because I was kind of like falling behind my mom. My mom said, "Well, I can help you here," you know, and this, that, and the other. And I wasn't really bad. And after my wife went to prison and everything, it wasn't really all that bad that, where I was at, what I was doing. My dad helped me out and everything, and my grandma helped me out, you know, and my granddad, step granddad, they helped me out, and my sister, watching Seth as to, you know, whenever I worked. But they're not long after though they started, like my grandma started developing dementia real bad, and my dad got a little bit poorer in health, you know, and several years afterwards. So even though they were helping out and everything, there would have been a time where they could have probably wouldn't been able to do it anymore. Even at times, my aunt, she would watch Seth and everything, and she got to a point where she couldn't really do it anymore because she had her own grandchildren. She couldn't even do it with them. But when Seth got to be like, oh shoot, after about 4, 5, 6, about 6 years or so after we had been here, he pretty much got to be, he can kind of take care of himself in a way. Yeah, he died in 2014, so that was almost 11 years, well, about 11 years ago when he died. But I don't know. It just feels like I have this longing though, just to go back home. I feel like I got to get out of this place. At least I got to at least visit. But it's just kind of hard to do because man, I just ain't had a job that's really helping me out right now. I had a fairly good job, but I did stupid stuff because I let things get to me and I stayed out of work for about a month. And now I don't have enough money to pay my darn bills and stuff like that. And I was supposed to make a payment today to the bank for my loan. Not my loan, my mortgage. You know, and so it's supposed to be like $355, and I ain't got it to pay. I really don't have it to pay. If I take out of the money to pay them, it's going to mess me up getting other things. But they told me, they said if you don't pay it by the 26th, it's going to affect your credit. Here it is, the 26th. I mean, I could give it partial payment and everything, but it still is going to, what money I have saved up and everything is just going to really screw me up, you know, and everything. So it just, I haven't been able to do it. And I try to put on here like PayPal and everything, see if people would help me out at Thomas Holiday, you know, and everything. And it just it seems not really be working. I think one person tried to help me out for $50. So that was really nice of them. Yeah, so. And I just, well, I don't know. They told me, they said that, I mean, I've dealt with them before. Have missed payments for a couple of times, and one, you know, but I gave them something, you know. I just last month I gave them $50. That's really I can really afford by the time all this was happening. Now this month, I'm afraid if I give them something, then it's gonna just they're still gonna be wanting more. Of course, that's what they do. And like I told the lady, I said something's better enough. She goes, yeah, sure is, but if you don't pay the full amount on a certain time, it's gonna affect your credit. I'm like, well, that's not the first time this has happened to me. I have a seven. My credit score is around 730. That's good credit. Yeah, I'm, I don't even really get all what that means. What you're saying there as ASFGH. Um, I just know that if I would have never came here, I would have never had to worry about a freaking mortgage. And what the thing of it is, I almost had the thing paid off. I had it down to 28. I had it down to because I bought the house for like 28. I borrowed money for like 28,000, and I had it down to golly, it must be I can't remember 23 or something, and 24. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then I refinanced and got it up to 45, and now I got it down to 31, 32. But all I find is just I find myself getting depressed a lot. You know what I mean? It just really depressing. I just want to get out of here. I just want to live. Let's say, hey, look, take the darn house back because I don't. I really don't want to invest everything. I really don't want to. And my mom don't get that. But I understand it. I don't. I don't. I don't want to invest in. Oh, see me a lot better now. I don't want to invest in this house. I really don't. I don't want this house. My mom's like, well, you got equity. You got this. You got. I'm like, Mom, I don't care. I don't want it. I don't want to be here. I don't want it. And I think it makes her sad because she wants somebody to have some kind of connection with her to be here other than her boyfriend, other than her stepchildren and her youngest granddaughter, my youngest niece. So I mean, she's I don't want to make her sad or I don't want to upset her with that, but I just don't want to be here. My son is lived here now most of his life, so it's something he 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 remembers South Carolina and he loves South Carolina. He likes to have a place to go to, so we got this thing where I inherited some. I'm an heir to some property from a cousin who passed away, and not only me, but 33 others. And so we, instead of uh, giving people strips of the land, on especially the land that I'm really talking about, my family was at and everything in the cemetery, that the place that I pretty much grew up at, they got to pretty much sell it and get money off of it because it's not practical of giving 34 people strips of the land and other lands that it concerns because it's like 4 tracts of land in Clarendon County. And so some of the land that people have interest in, have shares in, they've never stepped foot on. They don't even know nothing about. They just know that a cousin died, and the cousin had nobody, no family, no mom and dad, no brothers or sisters. So it goes to the next person. And in this case, me and several others are the next people it goes to. If it goes to first cousins, then those first cousins aren't allowed, then it goes to first cousins once removed, or what they call second cousins. All right, if they ain't allowed, then it goes to the next person. So now it's 34 heirs, and I'm one of them. So, well, yeah, I told her, I was like, I'm like, she ain't really got nothing to do with it so much. She tries to help me out by giving me advice because she thinks I don't have really common sense, but I got book sense. Now her mine, I'm not really smart too much. It's just my mama's has this thing in her head that she's a whole lot smarter because she is. My mom's a bookkeeper. She's a tax preparer and stuff like that. She's 79 years old and acts like she's much younger, and she's got a lot of good sense. My mom's had a she's very practical in the things she does. She's really smart, but she don't want to hear that. She don't want to hear that I don't want to be here. She doesn't want to hear that I don't want to pay this damn mortgage anymore. She don't want to hear it. and I only owe like 33,000 on it, where it was 45. I got it paid down, and that was been almost 8 years ago. I mean, 6, 8 years ago when I got it refinanced. So really, technically, I should have it way lower than that. But I've been paying like 350 something a month, and where some people could be paying a lot more, I've been paying not bad. And then on top of that, I got a loan that I refinanced, and then I got to pay that. And so, I mean, in order for me to skip a payment, I had to make sure that it, even though it stung quite a bit, I had to make sure I paid on that because next month, with the addition of $50, I don't have to pay my a loan payment. But I got to give $50 for the processing fee though. Yeah, but she's not really like this. She's not really pressuring me. She doesn't want. She gets real anxious and she gets a lot of anxiety whenever I start talking like that. And she just, I guess what it is, she doesn't want me to leave or whatever. She doesn't want me to even think about going. But see what it is about, like in what was it, about 2000, the year 2000. I came up here and I stayed for like 5 days with the intention, probably, well, maybe I'll stay for a while. But then after 5 days, I'm like, nah, I don't like it. I don't like it here. And I left without saying anything to her. And boy, she got mad. She got upset, something bad. And it really hurt her, really bothered her. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just don't want, you just had a really high expectations of me. I know you're trying to help me out, but I just don't want to stay. She was just giving it to me, boy. It was about 25 years ago. And I was pretty young. I was like 27, something like that. 27, 28, before I met my wife. A year or two before I met my wife. And then, so we'll go home and everything, and the house was trying to sell, and I was staying at the house and everything. You need to get out of here. You just need to go. And she's nagging at me and everything. I said, well, fine, I'll go. And I went and stayed with my dad, and so stayed with him. And I stayed with him off and on for like a year or two, stayed with him a little bit, and then came back home, stayed with him a little bit, came back home. And so eventually I just moved all the way into the house and everything, moved with him, and we took some stuff out of the house that we were selling, my mom was selling, and some furniture and stuff, and then the house eventually sold, and no more going to there anymore. So, and I stayed with my dad up until about 2008, and eventually, I can't believe it was 2008 because golly, it was like it don't seem that long I was staying with him, but it was. Moved back and forth with my girlfriend and everything, in and out. Stayed with her several months, and well, actually, we got married until I stayed with her. I lived with her some. She didn't want to do this, didn't want to do that. I rented a place for my cousin. She didn't want to do this, that, and so I moved back home with my dad, and it was like on again, off again, on again, off again. Broke up, got back together, broke up, got back together, and then eventually we had a son, and some things happened, and all that and the other, blah blah blah. And then she got herself put in jail for things I'm not going to discuss, for 17 years, things I'm not going to discuss. But I ended up taking care of my son by myself, which was fine. All the child support that I tried to pay in, I willfully paid in because I didn't want nobody to see that I didn't care and love my son. They paid back to me, which I was happy about that. And I was trying to work. My dad watched them. My son and my sister watched them, and my grandparents watched them. Stuff like that. And eventually, my wife got the sentence to go to jail and everything in prison. And I thought about, mom had said something to me about coming over there and everything, and over here and staying, and she'd help watch Seth. And I was thinking about doing that. I was like, I don't really want to do it long term though. And then I just kind of thought about it for like a month or so, and just willy nilly just went ahead and went for it. And so she kept telling me about this job here and that job. Well, we not a job, but I got here, and about like a month later, I got a security job, like I was doing in South Carolina. But anyway, just one thing led to another, and then I found a house which was right down the road from my mom's, and it was right below the school. This is where I'm at now, and self walked to school. It was no big deal. Everything. So and so you know I had to say that moving here in some cases was a good thing. Other cases it wasn't. I really, now the older I get, I miss my home. I miss where I come from. But now it feels like I don't like the idea that I'm stuck. You know what I mean? I hate the idea that I'm stuck here, and that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm stuck. I can't do anything. You know what I mean? And before, I couldn't go visit people because I didn't know where to take my dog or whatever. This, that, and the other, and who to take them to. I didn't want to pay exorbitant amounts of fees and all this, that, and the other to go visit with family in Virginia or family even South Carolina. But I'm getting to a point now. It's like, daggone, I'll just to get away, because I'm working part time. I got weekdays rather. I can do stuff, but at the same time too, I'm not making enough money to pay the bills. So I really need a full time job. I need to quit thinking about, hey, I got too many days off. I need a full time damn job to get these bills paid. But I can't find a freaking full time job. It was hard enough to try to find a part time job as it was. Now I can't do anything. It seems like I didn't try to do stuff, didn't try to make payments and everything, and just I don't have the money to do it. I've asked for help and everything. I can't seem to get it. So I just don't know what else to do anymore. Just and it stresses me out. It depresses me, and I kind of think, what if, what if? But I can't go there. I can't. Kind of, my faith is way too strong to even go and to do something stupid to myself. You know what I mean? But I just, one minute I'm depressed, I'm stressing out, I'm sad, but at the same time too, it feels like the Lord gives me that strength to go on for another day and just persevere for another day. But still, I'm still not happy being here. I just feel like I got to get away from Tennessee. I got to get out of here. I just don't want to be here no more. And I don't care if I don't have a personal place to live at. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can stay over there at my grandmother's and help my sister sell the place. And because eventually we're going to get an inheritance. And I mean, I'm not really trying to count that as something, but, you know, um, that'll help. But what about my son? What about him? I don't know if he'll make it without me, because that's what it seems like. I don't think my son will make it without me too much, because I mean he's even right now he's using my credit card, and he's going to pay me back for whatever he uses. But and he's using my credit, and he's kind of hit a couple of bumps and everything, and he's making payments on personal loans and stuff and everything. And so I mean, what I got is way more than what he got has as far as bills and stuff. But you know, when it comes down to the loans and mortgage and stuff, but he's unmaxed out his credit card, debit card. I mean, his credit card. I haven't done that, but he seems like he's trying to max mine out, because it's like every time I look, I see something pop up. And he spent $2 here, he spent $3 there, and I'm like, son, you need to quit spending little small amounts, just bulk amounts. Yeah, he has a full time job, but still, he gets paid every 2 weeks. He was doing an air conditioning job, HVAC job. He got paid every week, but he wasn't making enough money. And then he went back to his other job, where he gets paid every 2 weeks. Driving, now he's driving a truck back and forth to like Alabama or whatever, delivering foam or whatever. He's doing like delivery driving, route driving, whatever you call it. But if I can just freaking get an up, if I can just get to a point of where I can just get an infusement of cash from somewhere, just for magically drop out of the sky or something, and just like somebody just be in an airplane and just magically drop some money out of the sky and come raining over me. That'd be great. That way I could pay some bills and stuff, and kind of catch up, be ahead of the ball, so to speak. Be ahead of those mortgage payment that I need to be making on my check on my house. And I'm getting to a point where I don't care anymore. I really don't care. I don't care if they come take it. I don't care. I really don't. And one good thing though is that my wife decided this past summer that she wanted to divorce me. I'm like so happy about it. I'm like, yes, because I was about to do that with her after she got out, but I was waiting until my son got to a certain age before I did that. Actually, I was going to do it about 10 or 11 years ago before my dad died. And I went ahead and got a refund, partial refund on it. But I thought, well, I was already going through the process and we had a first court decision and everything. I withdrew the case and everything. And something other, she wasn't prepared or whatever, or something other, I forgot what happened. But I had to take a parenting class and I took that and everything. And oh gosh, that was like so boring. I thought, daggone, I can just wait until he's old enough now, till he don't have to worry about, uh, involving, how much she might have to pay or whatever. Because the lawyers won't telling me to hit her up, hit her, make her pay and everything. Wow, what she can't, she doesn't have anything. She doesn't have anything in that prison, you know. Only thing she really ever got out of it is being more of a butthole than she ever was. Narcissistic, stuck up snob that she is. I haven't got it yet, and I haven't. I'm in the process of getting it. She hasn't. The final thing, the final decree or whatever you would call it, where you sign and then you're officially divorced, hasn't come in. My mom has been divorced several times. She's been married quite a few times, and she's had divorces way quicker than what I've had, what I'm having now. So I don't understand why mine's taking so long, you know. But of course, that is Ohio as opposed to Tennessee. I'm living in Tennessee. She's in Ohio, and my mom lived in South Carolina whenever she got her divorces, because I remember quite a few of them. But anyway, it just seems like I just want to get to a point where I just like I don't where I am getting to a point where I just don't care anymore. I just don't care if they want to if they want to take the house, fine. They can take the house. They can take all the issues and problems with it too. Which I gotta say, it's like this truck. It's like it might have issues or problems or whatever, and I got a lot of things fixed up on it. A lot of good running, I got out of it and everything. Same thing with the house. They try to fix the floor joists and everything, and they kind of messed up the floor a little bit at the same time, but it was better than it was. And I didn't have to pay nothing for it because it was something my mom's boyfriend wanted to do. And but yet he tried to cheat me out of $800. He tried to cheat me, and I found how he did it, and I kind of called him on it, and he kind of just was like, yeah, yeah, like, oh yeah, okay. Well, I kind of, if you wanted me to pay you the money, I would have paid you the money. That's why I got it. I got my loan refinanced and everything. I said, look, or I got a loan because of it. I said, look, if you wanted me to pay it to you, all you had to do was say so. I would have paid it. You ain't got to try to learn cheat me out of it. Why? It's like he didn't think I could find it. I got my mom's brains in some things. And I told my mom about it, and she was like, "Ah, he didn't really do that." I was like, "Yes, he did." And I try to let it go. I try to forgive it and everything, and I try to be friendly and try to be, cool about it. But she wanted to just kind of just act like it never happened, and it did happen. He gave it to me though. He gave me the money back. So I just there's this trust issue with him for anything else now. I don't trust him. I've known him all my damn life. Um, they were, whenever he was just a young fella, he hung around my mom, and then 35, 40 years later, comes back into my mom's life again after her husband dies. And it was pretty quick. Well, I thought it was pretty quick, and that's just the way it goes with my mom. But anyway, he's got all those people out there working on the bottom of my house and putting this stuff up, and it's messing my darn flooring up and everything. And I told them that, and it's like they really didn't do nothing about it. And but the house had sagged so bad in certain places that it needed to have the joists, uh, you know, fixed and stuff. And so I mean, they did a couple of things where it fixed it up pretty good, and other places it still needs work. The foundation isn't all that great. I don't have the money to sink into it. I don't want to have, and I don't want to borrow thousands of dollars from a company or from any other place or bank or whatever to invest all that much money back into it, because I don't want the freaking house. I don't want it. Her being incarcerated, she's not incarcerated anymore, my wife. But we had good times. We spoke, we wrote, we did all this other stuff, and we communicated and things like that. The other time she was acting crazy about something, and then we got along again, then we didn't, then we got along again, then we didn't. It was the same repeat, the same thing that we had, the relationships that we had before she went to prison, before we moved, before she went to Ohio, before I went to Tennessee, came to Tennessee. It was the same thing, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It was the same thing over and over again while she spent 17 years in jail. And I thought, man, this is going to be a long time. And before I know it, it was over with just that quick of her being incarcerated. It was just, it seemed like, thinking about it now, looking back over it, it looked like it was about a flash. It was like a bang. It was like that quick. My son growing up, Seth growing up and everything, it was like the same thing. It was almost like a flash. And he just he gets moody like his mom at times. He just gets into these little areas in his life where he just acts like he don't need dad. And but really he does. And there's times when he's like, Daddy, can you do this, that, and the other? And he talks at times, but most of the time he comes in after work. You don't want to say very much. He gets on his phone. He starts watching his football. His room is a freaking disaster zone. And I'm trying to talk to an adult about cleaning up his room, you know? So it really gets me depressed. It really bothers me that I have to keep getting on him and he never gets anything done and everything. And then when I really get pushy about it, he might do something, but it takes me getting pushy about it, you know? The kid is 23 years old. What am I going to do? Spank his butt? And like now with this credit card thing, it's like, okay, you were close to $300 on my credit card, so oh, I know. I was like, okay, well, are you gonna be able to pay it? Yeah, I feel like I will. Are you gonna have money left over? I don't know. I said, well, just tell me. Just freaking tell me. I'll try to help him. Try to help my kid. My daddy tried to help me, and my mom always tried to help me, and everything. And she'd nag, and my daddy wouldn't nag so much, but my mom would nag. But and my dad always told me how much he loved me and stuff like that. My mom plays a tough mom, but I know she loves me and I know she cares. And but there be times, boy, she get real soft. How important it is to have a son, a mother's love for her son. She'll put that stuff on Facebook. How much, in other words, she wants me to come see her. But when I come see her, she's off doing something else. She's smoking a cigarette. She's smoking pot or something like that. And I don't like being around that stuff. I've been around it all my life. I grew up around it all my life. I just don't like it. I don't like the smell. Oh yeah. Well, I'm not telling you this. I'm just talking out loud. Because I know I'm talking to you. I'm just talking to the camera. But I just I'm just tired of being here. I've gotten to a point sometimes of just thinking to myself, what if I just did it? What if I just, did that? No, it just can't, won't. It's too easy. But I feel like I'm fighting a lot of depression. I can't freaking get a damn leg up to get these damn bills paid. You know what I mean? It's what really bothers me. It's like two steps forward, one step back. I can't, right when I get to the point where I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good, something happens at work or something else. I get another job. It's like two steps forward, one step back. No, it's not worth it. I mean, it doesn't matter how many times I read the Bible. It's still going to be. I see people in there. I was saved. I was this. I was like, yeah. This stuff means something. I mean, this stuff between you and the Lord really means something. It means something between me and the Lord as well. So sometimes getting on here to talk it out really does help. And I start seeing new things, new light on things and stuff like that, and it just kind of, I find talking it out, whether somebody listens or not, just saying something. And if somebody watches later on, yeah. But now what's in the back of my mind right now is a solution and a resolution to get out of freaking Tennessee, to be done with this house. I don't want this house anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to be here in Tennessee anymore. Whether my son or my mother likes the idea or whatever, or supportive of it or not supportive of it, I don't want to be here. I don't know what to say or do for my son because he obviously feels like he belongs here in Tennessee. But there's a time and a day that he might think about moving back to South Carolina. But to what? What is he going to move to? But I just felt like I've been here for way too long. And it wasn't my intention to be here that long. It wasn't my intention to be here over a year. I mean, more than a year. It was just a short time, short term. But I'm still here. I feel stuck. I hate the fact that I feel stuck here. That's what bothers me. I don't like feeling stuck someplace. I feel like I just need to just get away from this place. I just feel like I just need to my only option is really to get on the Greyhound bus and go to South Carolina, and the only place I can go to near Manning is Sumter, which is not far from Manning, and call a cousin or my sister. Hey, come pick me up and visit for a couple of days. That's a whole lot cheaper, and it's a whole lot more effective than in case something happens to the truck or whatever. At least I can ride a bus, and pay like $150 just to get there. I don't know how much a ticket is, but I, I I did price one that wasn't that much actually. It wasn't that much. I thought, hey, I can just go there on a bus and come back in a couple of days. But I got to have somebody to pick me up though. I can go to my dad's grave, visit the grave. I can go visit my niece and my nephew and stuff like that, and their children, and see how they're doing, see how they're getting along, and see how far it's going along with my grandma's house or where my sisters might need help at or whatever. And but then what? I got to come back here because I got to pay bills. I got to pay for the freaking house. I got to pay. I got to pay eventually car insurance, automobile insurance rather, and phone bills. I got to pay other things because I live here now. I don't want to. I just the worst I can freaking do is like what I did 25 years ago. Is just freaking leave. Talking about somebody upset, my mom and my son would be upset. I wouldn't hear the end of it. If I just left, my mom would think it would be her because I don't know how it would be her. There was a time whenever she was co-signed for the mortgage, and it was on her. But after we got it refinanced, it's not on her anymore. She had part interest in the house and everything, but now she doesn't. It's all mine and everything. So I forgot what you call it, warranty deed or something like that. So I'm like, I don't know how you think it'd go on you. I'm like, well, it would. I'd have to do so. I'd have to do it. I'd have to do it, everything. I said, no, just let Seth do it. And you help him. Oh, wait, what are you talking about for? What you going to do? What you really want to do? You really want to do it? I'm like, yeah, when you piss me off, yeah, I want to do it. I just want to just get out of here. Just go for a couple of days, about close to a week. And then I feel like I need to go home and recharge. And because to me, this isn't home. You know what I mean? It's not home. It will never be home. And all I do every single freaking night, y'all, all I do is just come here. I don't even like staying home. I don't even like staying at the house. Uh, there used to be a point in time where I was like, oh, well, I really don't need to go out today. I just stay home all day after, if I wasn't working, I just stay home all day with no thought to it. It was no big deal at the house over there. And now I'm just like, I got it. I can't stay here all day, even with my dog. I mean, he gets more cooped up in the house than I do. Seth's always at work or doing something. He's always with friends or something. I'm like, I can't stay there all day. I cannot do it. I cannot stay in that house all freaking day long. I just don't want to. And it would save gas, definitely. Even coming to doing what I do, because I usually about every day I'm always at Waffle House or some other place, going around somewhere or another, driving around here. And if I ain't got to work or whatever, then I'll come to the depot here and and watch my videos and make videos and stuff like that. And it gets so freaking mundane. It happens all the dang time. I just don't know where to go. I can't really go anywhere because I don't want to spend a lot of money. I'm not making a lot of money, you know. And just like I said, for me, there was a lot more things to do in South Carolina, even though because I mean it just I was so connected there. I mean, I found things to do, but here in this small little town or whatever in Etowah, there ain't really a whole lot to do. It's kind of boring. But at least when I was living in Manning, I mean, it was a little bit more spread out and everything, and I enjoyed, the history here. I like it; it's pretty cool. But the history there is where I come from. It's what I grew up around. I mean, I could, whenever I was staying with my girlfriend a long time ago in the city limits there, and she had her two kids with her, we would make walks. We would do walks around the town in the middle of the day or whatever at nighttime. It was so neat just to get out there and learn about my town, and the history of my town and everything, and where I come from. But here, it's just a big old stretch. That's all it is. There's nothing to it. It's boring. It's a railroad town. It hasn't been here as long as Manning has. So it's just, and we got a big old gigantic courthouse and everything, and we walked around that, and just there was so much history in that place where I come from. Here, there's history. Right when I first got here, I started researching history and got all kind of stuff, information on it. I thought it was pretty interesting. But after a while, it's like boring, boring, boring. Yeah, well, I do metal detecting. I don't know if you've seen my YouTube. I do metal detecting, but it's different doing it here than it was whenever I was in a home in South Carolina because I did some, and I don't know why I deleted my darn videos that I did. Um, I thought maybe I could have got them back. I can't find my old ones. Me metal detecting and everything around the old home place, my grandparents' old home place. But that's another thing I wanted to do is just kind of get back there and kind of just look into things because eventually that land that my grandparents had it's going to be sold, and I don't want it sold. I'd like to get a piece of it. Me and my sister and my cousins like to have a piece of it, but that's another reason I want to get back there is see what I can keep preserve. But yeah, I mostly had I was out here. If you watch some of my earlier videos, you'd see that I had done things with katanas and swords, and I collect hearing protectors and stuff like that. I do the stuff with the earmuffs, the hearing protector earmuffs, and the furry ones and stuff like that too, on top of the hearing protectors, make them more comfortable when it's cold and stuff. I did make a little bit of money off the katanas. Then YouTube changed the rules, and I couldn't make money off of it no more. I don't know why they changed the rules. How you doing, Gordito Crunch? How you doing? But anyway, I just gotta get out of here. Even if for like a couple of days, I got to get out of here. I gotta it's like Superman recharging in the sun, man. I got to recharge. I got to get my strength back just to put up with this place. I haven't been. The worst thing is between 2008, the time I got here in 2008 to 2011, 12, 13, we frequently went out of state and went to like either Virginia or South Carolina. I went with my mom, but then they got to a point where I couldn't go because I couldn't find anything to do with my dog and stuff. So I haven't been to Virginia. I haven't been out visiting family in Virginia or even in South Carolina since 2013, 2014. And that's 11 years. I've been stuck in this state. Bus. Bus are in my truck. But I just don't want to leave it to my son, I just what's he gonna do if he can't hardly pay his own dang bills? What's he gonna do as far as having a house to himself? You know what I mean? The worst they can do is come get it. Like, and then that's gonna mess up my credit, and then I can't really do anything else with I won't be able to do anything even if I try to get like it'll screw up my credit. You know, oh well, you owe here, yeah, I do, and it'll always, you know, I can say, hey, look, I can't pay no more. I don't want to pay no more. Come take it. I'm cutting my losses. I don't know if that'll do anything. I forget what that's called, but it's not foreclosure, but it's like where say, hey, look, I don't want to do any of this anymore. Can you come and take over? I don't want to pay you no more for it. And just take the rest of my house, the equity, whatever, and use that to kind of do whatever it is with the loan. I don't want to pay no more anymore. I can't because I had to get way more to really get my house to where it needs to be. I had to put at least over 30,000 in that thing. I get the crawl space all tidied up and the French strains I need to put in there and stuff like that. This part of the house that's kind of like settling and everything. There's so many thousands of dollars that I could be putting into that house and everything, but I just really haven't done it because it was just so much to freaking pay back. I mean, I'm stuck with a freaking. It feels like I'm stuck with a Franken house. Is that the right word for it? A Franken house? And that it's a money pit. And and my mom's like, oh, you can put so much into it. You can do this. You can do that. Blah 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 blah. You just never done it before. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to do all that. I don't. I mean, there were so many issues and problems with it whenever I got it, and I'm like, oh, look at the potential here. I was like, really, to me, there was no potential. I didn't want to get the damn thing in the first place. Years I have left? I don't know how many years I have left. I can't remember. I think it's in 2030 something like that. If I'm not mistaken, how many years I got left? My refinance, it's supposed to be was a 20-year loan, 30-year loan, something like that. I got 32,000 left on the house. 32,000. 32 or 33. It seems like it changes because of the interest. Sometimes I'll pay on it, it's like it kind of bumps up a little bit. Like, there you go, 32 or 33,000. It was 45. I had it when my first time I had it. When I got it, it was 28. I got it for 28. They wanted 30, but we got it for 28. The top down to 28 because it had some things that need to be fixed up. And then I got it refinanced for. I had about like 8,000, 9,000 paid on it or whatever, and I would have had that thing paid off by now. I would have had it paid off. But then again, if I didn't do what I did with it, I wouldn't have had a tin roof. I wouldn't have had a new HVAC system. I wouldn't have had a new, vinyl siding. So that's why I got it financed. I used all that money to get those things done to it, and of course, new floor joists and stuff, which I don't know if they're really helping or not. But I would have had it paid off. I would have had that title free and clear. I would have satisfied the mortgage on it. And now I'm stuck with it. I don't want the damn thing. God. Sorry. Whew. Yeah, I can always go back to South Carolina, can I? 355, something like that. 355. I just, I appreciate your help too. Um, I think you sent me 50. I appreciate that, man. It really did help. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but I just don't have enough money to pay on a dang thing. I was supposed to pay it today. I was supposed to pay that 355 today. I just couldn't do it because I don't have the money to back it up. And they told me, it's like, well, if you don't pay it today, it's going to mess up your credit a little bit. I said, look, I've been through this before. I've had my credit messed up before, so it ain't nothing new. But you know what? When I didn't have the money, I paid it. I got it all called up. I can't do that now. I'm sorry I outbursted. Y'all, the more I think about it, the more I get freaking stressed. I just don't want to be here. I feel like I got to get away from here. I got to just get some space away from this place. Space away from this place. Well, you can see me a whole lot better now. I just feel trapped and just. But then again, I mean, I know that I know that I know that I know, the Lord's in control. And there's a time and a season for everything, and there's a time and a season for this. But I feel a lot like Jacob. Jacob longed for home. He wanted to get away from Laban and everything. He'd take his wife and his concubines and his kids and get out of there, man. And that's the same with me. I feel like I got to get out of Syria, wherever they were, Aram or whatever it was, and get out of there and get back home to my dad. In this case, back to my ancestral, back to my roots. Really, the ancestral roots I have are in Virginia. I never lived in Virginia. I lived in South Carolina. It wasn't for my mom and my dad from way back. Well, his ancestors moving to Virginia and then moving down to South Carolina, or my mom recently doing that. I wouldn't be in South Carolina. So, ancestry speaking, Virginia is where it's at. But as far as home, where I was born, where I was raised, and everything, is South Carolina. And that's all I hear about black people this, black people that. They're bad here, they're bad there. There's killings here, killings there. Oh my gosh, there's killings everywhere. Well, rent I think would be, yeah, it would be a whole lot more. I was like, man, I wouldn't even care if I lived off a freaking street. I wouldn't care, but I don't want to. I wouldn't care though. For me, I would be home. I would be back in my home state, being around people that I knew and grew up with. I would probably be, whatever. But I mean, I could help. There's like so much potential to help with my niece on things. She just had a baby recently. I could help with my nephew and his two sons. Things like that. And I don't know till I got on my feet. But what would I do with my son? My son, it seems like if I moved, if I did whatever, he couldn't make it by himself in that house. I don't think he can do it. Whoa. Wow. And I don't know why for me that's so hard. Like it just the choices that I probably made and everything. And my mama make me sure she'll know. She'll make sure to let me know. Well, those are your choices, the things you did in the past, or reflecting on what you're doing now. I'm like, yeah, mama, thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me know all that. I mean, it's not like I don't need to hear it, or rehearse it, whatever. But I just don't want to keep hearing it from you, particularly, because she can 1 minute she's real negative about stuff, and then the next minute she can be real kind, sweet, and generous. I've had to borrow money from her before, and everything, and she's giving it to me, and like then I forget to pay her back, and she, what about that money you owe me? I'm like, oh, I forgot, sorry, mom. But whenever I needed her, she's there. But this time around, though, she can't do it because she's just really low and everything. And of course, too, she is in South Carolina. She's visiting with my niece and everything, and she's going to go back. She's going to be going down where I want to go to see her youngest to see her youngest great grandbaby. So it's just I'm like I wanted to go with her and everything, but it wasn't the time and it wasn't going to be where she was going to come back at the time. She was going to be coming back a little bit early, so I couldn't go with her on that. And so I wanted to go with her. I was like, Mom, why don't you just go for a week? I said, we'll take the car. We'll take your car. We'll drive down there. Well, I don't want to do that now. I'm like, oh. I was like, I ain't got nothing to do for a whole week. For the week, from weekend one weekend to the next weekend. I said we can go. We'll go take your car. We'll go. Why would you? I'm like, all right, fine. I just don't get it. I could have drove. Like I drive a car any other time. She didn't want to do that though. For whatever reason, she didn't want to do it. Um, Probably because she didn't want to stay at her at the house there with my sister or whatever. She didn't want to put up with her. She wanted to go my niece see my niece up in Clemson, and then they were going to go down to my other niece and where my sister is in Manning, and so you know like that. But I tell you, man, it just gets to those times. I just don't know. It's like one day after the next. Where I'm putting up with this one day after the next. It's like, Lord, give me strength for the day. Lord, give me strength for the day. Lord, strength for the day. One more day of this. 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 It's like a broken record, I know, but that's what it feels like. I'm getting older. I'm getting older. I'm getting older. Here we are, 17 years in. 17 years. What's it shown? What's it proof? My house is still in the shape that it was in 17 years ago. Well, 16 years ago. That's when I moved in 16 years ago. It's still in the same shape other than the vinyl siding and the tin roof that we got and the HVAC system. And I probably need to get it serviced. My son's in the HVAC stuff, but I asked him about taking a look at it and everything. He ain't got around to it yet. So, so look here, son, it's about to turn winter. Let's just see what we need to do on it. He's got like a little thing in that, so I'll do it. When I get time. No, you got time. You got time enough to sit there and freaking watch your football games. You got time enough to sit there to play guitar. You got time enough to sit there and just freaking ooh, rah! I was about to do it. I was like, no, you got freaking time to sit there and just sit in the midst of your clothes that should be in your dresser drawer or in your chest drawer, rather, and clothes that need to be washed and everything. And you got time to sit there in the midst of all that stuff. No damn telling if there's mice or something, or bed bugs or whatever, or what have you. No telling if there's any of that stuff. But you got time to sit there and just play around and do whatever else, but you ain't got time to freaking fold your clothes up or wash them or freaking check stuff that you evidently have a training in, like something to do with the AC. You ain't got time to wash the dishes or whatever else. That's your mess that you leave in the sink for me. Obviously, oh, I didn't leave for you, Dad. I get to them, but you never get to them. You ain't got time enough to freaking worry. I'm trying to make sure I get oh, just anyway. But no, I can't say that bad about him anyway. He does try to get things back to me as far as money, whatever. It drives me crazy though whenever I'm looking on here and I'll see the PayPal thing and it tells me he spent $2 here, $3 there, $5 there, $6 here, $3 there. I'm like, son, get it in bulk or something. Quit buying the penny ante stuff. But Dad, that's the only way I got. I'm like, my gosh, you had change. You put change on top of the refrigerator. What happened to all your money? I don't have no money no more. I get paid Friday. Well, I'm like, okay, well, you need to make sure I get some money so I can pay on that credit card. I will. I will. You need to do something about your room. I will when I get time. Well, no, you got time. You got time. You got time to sit there and watch your darn play on your phone, sit in your truck, on your phone whenever I come pulling up. You got time to sit there and you got time to do other stuff. You got time. You just ain't taking time. I got time to go in there and vacuum the freaking house, but I don't have a vacuum cleaner anymore because the one I did have you freaking tore up. You know? Yeah, I love my son with all my heart. Don't get me wrong, but God Almighty, he stresses me out. I loved it when he was young. He was a kid and everything. He followed me everywhere I went. He was up my tail. Now but then he got older and he got a little stuck up, snobby acting. Well, not snobby so much, but there's times he's okay. He likes to talk, but most part he's just, he's in another planet. He's like, he's just like somebody who's living there with me. I don't even know him sometimes. Other times we talk. There have been plenty of times when I let things out, man, that I have done that. I have. I'll be saying stuff on there, and I would go off and things that you wouldn't think a Christian would do, or whatever somebody who's saved with on the Lord would do. I just, instead of having it live though, I just recorded it, and I go to town, and I'd say all kind of things. I cuss it, I flip it off, all kind of stuff, then I delete it. I delete it. And like, man, I shouldn't have said that. I'm glad I didn't post it. I'm glad I didn't go live and stuff like that, because I would have felt real bad if somebody got the wrong impression of me. But then again, too, what does it really matter what impression people have of you? Because everybody's like, oh, I got it so hard, I got this, this way and that way. But just because I have faith in the Lord, that doesn't mean I'm not going to go through hard times. It's just the fact that I have faith in the Lord that I haven't gotten to a point where I've taken my own life or whatever, where I've taken, I've gotten to a point where I have left everything to my son or my mom or whatever. So I'm just leaving. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I'm going back to South Carolina like I did 25 years ago. Boy, she got mad about that. She was upset. She even had her husband at the time. He got on the phone and started yapping his mouth. Look, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You ain't no relation to me. You ain't my daddy. But it's like I just need to go ahead and shut up. Don't talk to me. But we after a while we get along pretty good, me and him. and everything. And before he passed away, we got along pretty good, her husband. And then after he passed away, boy, like 2, 3 weeks later, she's with this other fella that's been around since. Well, we've known each other. She's known him since the '80s, you know. And like I said, he tried to help do stuff to my house. Ended up trying to take $800 out of what I was paying. And like, all you had to do was freaking ask for it. And so I'll never ask him. I'll try my best to get along with him and everything. But I'm like, if my mom talks about marrying him, I'm like, nope. You marry him, I'll definitely be gone. I am not, because I ain't leaving. I ain't going to contend with anybody over that freaking house she's got. That log cabin she's got that her husband helped, her and her husband built. I was like, I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna be. I'm not gonna have to deal with him, and and then me and Misty, my sister. No, we ain't gonna deal with it. We ain't gonna deal with you being married again. In other words, that's what I kind of told her. I kind of, not in a soft manner. I said that. I'm like, we ain't going through this again, Mom. No. Yeah, I really wish I could be better, bud. I really do. But I think the Lord allows me to go through this just to show me. It's just to show me of His grace and His love and His mercy, His compassion. Because every single day I get up in that house, I'm like, well, something can happen. Something bad can happen. Something can go out. This and that can happen. But I ain't going to have the money to get it fixed. If a line breaks, if a water line breaks now, then I ain't going to have the money to get that thing fixed. I mean, I barely have it. I can spend a little bit of credit on it and everything, the credit card on it. But after that, I got to pay it back. I don't have enough money saved up. I have not enough money to save up to get anything fixed. This truck can break down right now. And whereas I had the money before to get it fixed, and that was tight, like my what was it? What was that valve intake manifold intake thing on my truck. We finally found out what the problem was, and it took quite a bit of money to get that fixed, and it was quite a bit of money out of the savings that I had, even after taxes, to get that thing fixed. After I got my income tax back, because fortunately there was a thing where my son was in school, and I got some money back and everything. He was with me, living with me, and everything. Heck, I used to get it back whenever I get earned income credit and everything. Whenever he was younger. And I was on the darn insurance thing. I was on the Medicaid, what do you call it, Blue Cross Blue Shield. But he got to a certain age, they kicked me off of it. But I can't afford to get insurance, and I need insurance now, and I can't now. I'm trying to tell them. I said, look, best job for me is to work 3 or 4 days a week at 212s and 2/8. That'd be great for me, But they're trying to get it that way now. But right now I'm working part time, and it's better than having nothing. I'm gonna tell you that. It's a simple job. It's an easy job. At first I thought it was pretty complicated, but when I get back there Friday night, which is Saturday morning, and it's going to be a little bit chilly, I got to walk around the whole building and checking stuff and everything, and then I got to check the light poles and all that. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be fun because I'm by myself. I like being by myself, and that's how I read the Bible from cover to cover 7 times, almost 7 times, because I was at a place by myself doing my own thing, nobody bothering me, and I was a supervisor too, and but I had plenty of time. I had like 2 hours in between. I got that now over there. I can do something, anything I want within between 2 hours. You know, I can sit there and I can read and everything. I took my Bible with me the last couple of weeks. What did I do? I didn't do it. I got into a point now where I'm on my eighth reading of the King James Bible, and I'm still in Numbers. And this is I've been in Numbers for what, almost a year now. the last time I was really reading pretty good is when I was working at the hospital and at Walden Security at the hospital in Athens, and then that crap over there happened. Somebody just causing freaking trouble because I was trying to be diligent and make sure everything was okay. Trying to make sure that I wasn't going to be the bad guy when I had to kick somebody out in the freaking cold. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be cruel and mean to people. And some people I had to be tough on. Other people I was just trying to be gentle with. And then they didn't like that. It's like you come in there and you get better or get what you need, you got to go. You can't stay there. I wasn't like that, so I guess that's why they let me go. I was a bit more compassionate. I try to be compassionate with people. So there's a couple of people I ran out of there because I thought they were going to freaking screw people up. They were going to hurt somebody. I don't care about that. But when it comes to somebody putting somebody in a cold, that's not going to be on my conscience. And I'm not going to be cruel to them. And if I want to take my own money and buy somebody something, I'll do it. You know. But anyway. That light might be an indication. I don't even know what time it is. 9:30. I don't know, man. I feel like eventually I'll get back to home. I don't even know how much we're even going to get out of this inheritance, but the thing of it is, I can't have a piece of that property there, my family's property, unless I won't get them. I won't even get a big inheritance if I go that route. Whatever. And I'm not sure how much we're going to get because the total land appraisal for 4 tracts is $1.3 million, and I get 1.25% of that. So that's like 13, 14, $15,000. What? That's not a whole bunch. Or 1.25. My sister gets 1.25. My aunt, my uncle, and my cousin get 2.50. We could all combine that money together, but it would be what 130,000, and just say, hey, but that's before taxes are taken out, before lawyer fees or whatever. Say like maybe what 10,000, and say, hey, or how much ever, we're going to buy this tract of land here, and we're gonna, and we're gonna just, it'll be ours, and any of us can live on it. We can make it like 20 acres. We're going to live on it, and we're going to have our own place, whatever, and it'll be ours, and we can give it to our children. But then there's a bigger part around it and everything that we grew up on and everything else, but we can't have no more, and just, so it's better for me just to go ahead and just to kind of go ahead and agree eventually when the thing comes in and just say, okay, I agree, let's go ahead and sell it and everything, our family, all of us, because some of the people who are going to get something out of it never step foot on it. You know what I mean? They don't even know nothing about it. Out of the 34 heirs, they're people who never stepped foot on it. They have no idea what what I grew up on, what it means to me or my family. So, and I can be here. I can get that here. Am I going to put that on this house? No, hell no. Nope. I just might well. I could just put it in a darn savings or something. I told Seth. I said, look, when this thing comes in, depending on how much you got, I said I'll try to help you. I don't know when I'm going to get it. And I might not be. I might be counting my chickens before they hatch. But I said I'm going to try to help you and get you paid down because that's the right thing to do to help your kids to get better. But I was like, you got to do something for yourself though. So. And that talk was just as much for me as it is him. Mm. think now what I'm gonna do is wrap all this up. I've already been sitting here long enough. Get tense about it. Get this muscle tension in the back of my neck. Stress tension. There it is, right there. I feel it. Get this bulge in the back of my neck. I'm gonna go to Waffle House and get me a tea. I ain't been out here for 3+ hours. Golly. All right. I felt a little bit better. I feel less stressed now. But I'm still stressed. But I think too, though, that's the thing. That's the thing, you know. I feel stressed, yeah, but I don't have to be stressed. Even though I feel in the back of my neck. I can push past it. That's what I've been trying to do for years. Push past it. Push past, like with the pain. Trying to push past the stress. That too. Push past it. Don't cave into it. Don't fall into it. Don't go down that dark hole. Endure it. It's not an easy thing. Yeah. Never easy, is it? Thanks, Kafka. Anyway, thanks for watching, y'all. Sorry for the outburst.